authentic conversations about ourselves and our community, exploring topics that uplift and inspire us, from personal growth to social change. So grab your teacup and get ready to join the conversation.
Minute, but what did you see on the sixth floor? Mr. Floor says, Mr. Combs, I'm going to understand it. I might side with them, right? And that shows a bias, but it does become a question of the technique and the manner in which they cross-examine these alleged victims. And I don't think it's a mistake that Tenny Garagos did the opening statement today as opposed to Mark Agnifilo.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I mean, they have to be able to walk that fine line, particularly today, now that the pendulum has swung with obviously these movements. And having said that, you can't get up and attack somebody's credibility without attacking their credibility. You can't cross-examine people and try to suggest they're not telling the truth without attacking them on their veracity. And so you want to call it victim shaming, call it whatever you want. I don't care if it's a sexual assault case or an eyewitness to a murder. Either you're going to cross-examine them or you're not. And if you're not going to cross-examine them, you should have pled guilty, 4 or 5 days ago. So I think the gloves are coming off. I really do. And I think by putting, some of the lawyers they put on this team who can have it both ways, I'm a woman. I'm the last person in the world to agree with domestics. I don't like what he did here.
Right.
But they charged him with a crime he didn't commit.
So, giving everybody a final update from court, because we're going to have to be signing off in a minute. But what did you see on the sixth floor? Mr. Flores says, Mr. Combs in a towel and some like colored socks. He's a rapper, producer, and Cassie on the floor. Prosecutor says, let me show you some photos. And Combs was apparently in a tuxedo, and in a separate photo, Cassie Ventura is smiling. Listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do these live shows every day. That's our plan. We're going to be doing these live lunch shows every day. We're going to be doing daily sidebar recaps every night about what happened in court from that day. Particularly with no cameras or audio, we're going to do our best to recap all the important moments and also provide you legal analysis of what's happening, like with our great guest, Brian McMonigal, who was fantastic today, as he is always. Brian, thank you so much for coming on. It was great seeing you, and I know the audience and I really appreciate your insight into all this.
Jesse, thank you for having me. It's great to see you.
Great seeing you. Everybody, take care. We're going to be wrapping up. I'm Jesse Weber. Stick with us here at Law and Crime.
Okay, this is outside the Diddy courthouse. Okay. So I think we sipped all the tea from Law and Crime today. Currently. I'm pretty sure in New York it's like what? 6 o'clock maybe? 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. I'm pretty sure they done wrapped up Diddy. They done probably wrapped up Diddy. So I want to thank you for being here. Let's find some other tea, and then we're gonna wrap up Diddy's first day of trial as well. Okay. So TMZ is talking to you on Diddy, of course. So let's do some tea over on TMZ and see what they are saying.
Is going to testify. You will hear then the prosecutor, or we will tell you because there's no audio or visual inside the courtroom. We'll let you know what prosecutors, how they lay out their case and how the defense lays out its side. But what was announced today in court is there is a new alleged victim, but it's not necessarily what you think.
Victim 5 is how the government refers to this person, someone that they want to testify against Diddy. But it's not a victim of crimes that he is facing in this trial.
There are 4 alleged victims for which Diddy is accused of violating the law. 4 of them, 3 ex-girlfriends, 1 ex-employee. This person is not somebody where Diddy is charged with assaulting her or committing any crime against her. This is somebody who is going to testify, according to prosecutors, that this is Diddy's MO. Yeah. This is the way he operates.
That's exactly right. This is being referred to as victim number 5. It's not with respect to the charged offenses. It's what's called a prior bad acts or an MO witness under the rules of evidence. And they are going to allow her to testify in this trial. However, Judge Subramanian did say something interesting. He's not going to afford anonymity to this witness. So we'll have to see if that witness does take the trial. Take the stand, we're going to see who exactly that is.
The fact that they were asking for the anonymity makes me feel that that's something she wanted.
Probably.
Now, did she want, is she, now that she's not going to have it,
is it a deal breaker?
Is it a deal breaker
I don't
for her?
know.
I mean, I'm sure prosecutors are going to be trying to convince her to still testify even without the anonymity.
But the bigger thing, actually, is we thought today prosecutors were going to talk in open court about victim number 3, because she is the person who is not cooperating with the prosecution, does not want to testify.
At this stage, it appears she will not be there to testify.
They say,
even the prosecutors say that they have not been able
to find her,
get in touch with her, because
nor her lawyer.
Right.
And we're going to get into our Tubi documentary and our Tubi weekly show in a minute, but this comes up in the Tubi show because there are some people who feel, and we can't support this, but you will hear this on the Tubi show, she was paid off. That she made some kind of a deal.
The conspiracy theory. When a witness disappears, says they're not going to testify. That's what everyone thinks.
Now, the other thing that is really interesting that happened today is that the defense talked about the relationship between Diddy and Cassie, because
this is actually an exchange that happened late yesterday in court.
Oh, and this is really revolving around the Cassie video.
Because you can tell that the defense, we've said this all along, this is going to be the incredible mountain that the defense has to somehow get over, this video and what it means about the relationship between Cassie and Diddy. Now, the exchange between the prosecutor and Diddy's defense was all about violence in that relationship. And what Diddy's defense, what they said in court, is that this was a violent relationship and that
mutual.
Exactly. That Cassie had also struck him on other occasions. So it seems like that's what they're going to get into. And the judge said, look, if you, the prosecutors, bring up any of Cassie's medical injuries, then you are opening the door to cross-examination where they can bring up mutual combat.
I got to tell you something. I think this is a big mistake. This is just my opinion, but he's not being charged with the beating. What he has to do is get over the optics for a jury where the jury is saying, this is a violent, brutal man. Look at what he did to her. You know, what we thought they were going to do and what they had said earlier that they were going to do, in fact, Mark Agnifilo said it, was we're going to be harder on Diddy than the prosecution is and say this is deplorable, it's despicable, it is awful, we have no defense to it. If it feels like, if this feels like this is a defense to what he did, you're looking at a large man and a small woman, and a woman who on the stand is extremely pregnant.
Yep.
That is playing with fire. So every week, every Thursday.
Told you, T-sippers, okay? Cassie's very pregnant. She's due like in August or September with her third baby with her now current husband, Flynn Guy, okay? That if she gets up there let's say his defense attorneys start trying to attack Cassie in the event of, well, you hit him too. We don't have any video of Cassie hitting him. Is there evidence of Cassie ever hitting Diddy anywhere? Did he ever go to the hospital? Did he ever file a police report? Did he ever take any pictures of any marks or bruises? Okay, but there is video footage of him beating her, right? Okay. It's not going to be cute at all if they get up there and try to attack their girl in the moment of her going through what she went through with Diddy's ass.
Thursday night, we're going to drop a new episode. It's called TMZ Presents United States versus Sean Combs Inside the Diddy Trial, where we have kind of the inside strategies that we're hearing about, the scoop, even the gossip around the trial. We did our first one that dropped last night with Nancy Grace there. You see Mark Garagos, Ebony K. Williams, and Ashley Banfield from News Nation. And I got to say, they were amazing. I mean, they had such interesting things to say. But we've talked about Mark Garagos, who got in trouble with the judge.
Is he or isn't he?
Is he on
He got in trouble
or
with
not?
the judge because the prosecutors believe he is working on Diddy's defense.
And he said something on our Two Angry Men podcast calling the prosecutors six-pack of white women, which really pissed them off and pissed the judge off. So we got into that on the Tubi show. Is the judge viewing you as a member of the defense team? Because you have been all over that courthouse this week. And are you on the Diddy defense team? Because I can't get a straight answer from you.
ChatGPT cannot be with
while TMZ are on a commercial break, do you guys want to also go and review the TMZ United States versus Diddy trial live on Tanisha Talks Tees? Like I've covered stuff from Tubi, from TMZ, and I don't usually get violations for that because it's under the Fair Use Act of copyrighted material, and Tubi's a free network, so I'm thinking about adding that here now. After we get done summing this up. Okay. Anyway.
On that, especially when before, in full disclosure, before we started this about 15 minutes ago, you said I could not give you a history of the law in this area. So then to ask me the question after you made me promise I wasn't going to mention Shepard versus Maxwell.
Oh, God.
I sat behind Garagos. He was on the in the gallery on the pew that they had set up for people associated with the defense. I saw Mark and his daughter down in the cafeteria on the 8th floor. By the way, Mark likes to drink, it looks like Perrier water or sparkling water. Mark also was the center of attention in the 8th floor cafeteria during lunch, where the entire defense team had taken over the middle of the room, 2 tables. All of them were on their phones.
I sound like you're part of the defense team to me.
I don't know, Harvey, just look at him. It looks to me like he's given up law and he's going into medicine.
Yeah, it's true.
Here's what I love about this panel that you've set up. We are really holding Garagos's feet to the fire because he's a guy who can talk a blue streak. He can talk around issues. He's a very skilled lawyer. And we had someone who said, no, I saw you in the courtroom. I saw what you were doing. You also have Nancy Grace, who's a former prosecutor, holding his feet to the fire. You've got people who say, like, look, you look like you're in scrubs. I love the sort of makeup of the panel, and you're really getting sort of a sense of the behind the scenes.
Well, we're going to do it every Thursday night. It's a series during the trial that will last until the verdict. Again, it is called TMZ Presents United States versus Sean Combs. Inside the Diddy trial, it is available now free on Tubi.
Anya in Kansas City. You know, as we get closer to the trial, I do find it interesting. The Cassie incident notwithstanding, I do see the kind of public tides turning just a little bit as we learn more about who's accusing him.
Ooh, y'all, wait a minute. Go back to that picture.
Cassie incident notwithstanding, I do see the kind of public tides turning just a little bit.
Look at Cassie, y'all. Oh, she's very, very big and pregnant, about to pop. I did not know until, like, I think yesterday Cassie was pregnant. Did you guys know she was pregnant? I think she just announced it recently. Okay. In February. So, yeah. That's Cassie there, she's in her third trimester. So.
As we learn more about who's accusing him of what and hear his evidence and hear his rebuttal, I honestly think this trial could end in a surprising way that many didn't assume it would end when it first began.
Well, we've seen it in many other trials before where you think it's going to go one way and it doesn't. Okay, we're moving on.
Yes.
Let's go to Rome. Let's go to the Vatican.
All right. So that is more stuff from TMZ. I want to check out just a few places over here, and then we can all go and look at what they talked about on Thursday if you guys want. We could.
What if I told you you just need to wet this race?
Start off with this Thursday, because now the trial started, right? And they would have already been given testament to what they see going on now in the trial this Thursday. What do you guys want to do? It's up to you, because we've already covered up until this point most things Diddy. So
Combs sex trafficking.
And remember, drop those teacups in the chat. I see a lot of you coming in, filling up your teacups, and not at least paying a little like or subscription to the channel. Please remember to like and subscribe when you come in and fill your teacup up with all of the tea. Today we are sipping from Diddy's cup, y'all. Brace yourselves, okay? You know, I'm putting a little sugar in it so it's not so, because Diddy leaves in your mouth right now, right? Okay, so remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.
Trafficking trial. Prosecutors claim Combs ran a criminal enterprise with his trusted inner circle and committed crime after crime for 20 years. Now the defense is responding, accusing the government of trying to turn choices among consenting adults into a racketeering case. The defense also says the now infamous hotel security video of Combs and then girlfriend Cassie Ventura shows a fight over a phone. ABC's Rena Roy is outside the courthouse, and legal analyst Ariva Martin is taking a closer look at that case for us. So, Rena, what sticks out to you so far from these opening statements?
Well, Diane, we have been watching Sean Combs closely as he listens in on these opening statements, and I can tell you that he's sitting at the defense table with his arms crossed. He looks pretty passive. He doesn't appear to have much of an expression on his face as he listens into pretty explicit detail that's being laid out by the prosecution. He did meekly stand at one point as the defense introduced him to the jury. But the prosecution went first, telling the jury Sean Combs to the public was a cultural icon, that he was larger than life, but that there was another side to him, a side that ran a criminal enterprise for 20 years. They went into detail about the drug-fueled sex marathons that they say Combs forced women into, including his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. But the defense is arguing in their opening statement, as you said, that the government is trying to turn relationships and choices involving consenting adults into a racketeering case. And they say that will not work. They say to the jury he might appear to be a jerk or mean at times, but that's not what this case is about. Diane.
So, Ariva, what do you make of these opening statements so far?
Pretty much what I expected, Diane. I knew the prosecution would come out swinging to try to make their case that this is a racketeering case, that this involves violence, it involves coercion, it involves transporting people across state lines for sexual intercourse and for this kind of conduct that's been described in these freak-offs. And we also knew that the defense would push back. Their claim is that this is all consensual sex involving adults. And they're also suggesting that this video that we're going to see of Cassie Ventura is not a video of violence and coercion in terms of sex trafficking, but rather it's domestic violence, and that domestic violence is not one of the charges that Sean Diddy Combs is facing in this case.
Yeah, we also heard the defense attorney say something to the effect of he's not being prosecuted for being mean or being a jerk, trying to keep the jury focused on, is he guilty of these charges? Not, do you think he's a good guy? And of course, Diddy maintains his innocence here and has throughout. So what do you also make of the defense's strategy in insisting that prosecutors are trying to criminalize what they are saying is Combs' private, personal sex life?
Well, we've seen this before, Diane. This is a common defense that we see in these cases when you have adults, when you have people who are over the age of 18 involved in these cases. But that is going to be a very difficult burden for the defense to meet. It's been reported that at least 4 victims of the sex trafficking are going to testify. And of course, Cassie Ventura is going to be a star witness for the prosecution. One of the things that the defense is also trying to do is to paint these women as strong, confident women that made decisions about being in long-term relationships with Sean Diddy Combs. We know a lot of people don't understand why victims of sex trafficking don't come forward sooner and faster. Why don't they go to the police? Why don't they report this to friends and to others? So that's going to be the question these jurors have to grapple with. If these women were in fact being coerced, they say something sooner. Why didn't they report it? And they're going to have to understand, at least that's what the prosecution wants them to understand, is the huge psychological and emotional toll that this kind of conduct takes on its victims.
And Rena, they could even start calling witnesses today. How is the prosecution expected to start that part of this trial?
Right, so we know one of the first witnesses will be an escort, and following that, an early witness who is expected to be key for the prosecution's case is singer and ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. She is expected to lay out for jurors her side of her relationship with Combs, and prosecutors say that these are painful details of her life that she's going to be sharing. We're expecting it to likely be pretty emotional as we hear from her.
All right, Rena Roy, Ariva Martin, thank you both.
Okay, let's really tease y'all. It was not an escort. That was the first testimony. From our understanding, it was the security guard that worked at the hotel that allowed Diddy to pay them off. Okay, that's what that was. So, I know.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. Our next story takes us out to the Big Apple as Sean Diddy Combs will be back in court today for day 2 of his sex trafficking and racketeering trial. Jury selection is set to resume with 19 jurors from the first day's pool moving on to the next stage. Fox 5 New York's Briella Tomasetti joins us live this morning outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan with the very latest details. A lot of eyes on this case, Briella.
I don't know why my computer just froze.
Good morning.
Gina, good morning to you. And I can tell you this, it's expected to be another busy day at court. As a reminder, yesterday, potential jurors were given a brief explanation of the charges. The judge also told them that the defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty. That defendant, of course, Sean Diddy Combs, walked into the courtroom yesterday wearing a sweater over a white-collared shirt and gray slacks. He hugged his attorneys when he got in. As proceedings got underway, Judge Arun Subramanian jokingly compared the long list of the prospective jurors to the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Several of them said they already saw a key piece of evidence in this case, video of Combs beating R&B singer and ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura inside a Los Angeles hotel. One woman was dismissed after describing a still image she saw from that video as, quote, damning evidence. Ventura, one of the 4 accusers, is expected to testify. By day's end, some were disqualified for personal reasons or because their opinions or past experiences would impact their objectivity. One prospective juror said she liked a video on social media posted by a comedian who joked about large amounts of baby oil found by law enforcement in the superstar's homes. She was not dismissed. At one point, Combs asked for a bathroom break, telling the judge he was a little nervous. The court ultimately hopes to seat all 12 jurors plus 6 alternates by the end of this week before opening statements begin on Monday. All of them, by the way, will remain anonymous. Prosecutors have argued that Combs his power to force women to participate in sex performances called freak-offs. His defense team insists everything was consensual. The hip-hop mogul denies the allegations and has pleaded not guilty to federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Now, as you mentioned, Gina, 19 people from that first group of potential jurors are still in the running. A dozen more are expected to be questioned today. For now, we're live here, though, in Lower Manhattan. We'll send it back inside to you.
All right, Fox 5 New York's Briella Tomasetti. Briella, thank you so much for the detailed breakdown. We'll see how day 2 goes and check in with you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you. And I want to share with you this latest tweet coming down on X this morning from the New York Post. It says, quote, Diddy makes sobering admission about his emotions as jury selection in bombshell NYC sex trafficking trial kicks off. So we are keeping a close eye on this case right here on Live Now from Fox. Of course, cameras not allowed inside of the courtroom because of the high profile case and all of the media attention that has surrounded this case far before a jury selection kicked off yesterday. But you can get the latest details right here on Live Now from Fox. So make sure.
Today is D-Day for Diddy. The jury seated, the prosecution painting him as a violent monster, the defense claiming all his sexual encounters were consensual. All while the rap mogul's mother, Janice, and 6 of his 7 kids are in this New York courtroom to support him. His legal team speaking outside a court about Diddy's mood today.
Upbeat, ready to have his side told in open court. Yeah. All right, thank you guys. Thank you.
As Diddy faces life in prison, he is facing off against his ex. She is victim number 1 for the prosecution.
Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground.
One of the most anticipated witnesses in the Diddy trial, Cassie, is the woman seen in that disturbing video you've no doubt seen. She is expected to be the pillar of the prosecution's case.
Cassie is really what started this entire domino effect when she filed her lawsuit back in November of 2023.
It's amazing, because what a house of cards. Elizabeth Wagmeister is a CNN journalist who uncovered that now infamous tape. So it's been difficult to seat this jury. Many potential jurors said in voir dire that they had all seen the tape that came to you and CNN of Cassie being, pulled around in the hotel.
Look, first of all, Sean Combs is one of the most famous people on this planet. So let's forget about the tape for 1 second. It would be hard to seat a jury in any celebrity trial because people already have preconceived notions about him, whether they like him and they're a huge fan or whether they despise him.
Cassie's expected to be one of the first witnesses called.
Last time you said you were very confident about this case. Do you feel the same way?
Diddy's lead attorney, Mark Agnifilo, has said the defense will take the position that Cassie herself had a violent nature. She's pregnant, so that optically is, right? She's I don't know,
that
create
could,
sympathy.
That could certainly have an impact on a jury. Usually people see a pregnant woman and they say, oh my gosh, when
This
are you
poor
due?
expectant mother.
Exactly. So that could definitely have an impact on the jury.
If the jury convicts Diddy, he's facing life behind bars, charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, and kidnapping. The footage of Cassie will not be the only video evidence introduced. Any other videos that might be entered into evidence that could be effective?
Absolutely. So prosecutors said in a recent hearing prior to jury selection, Billy, that they do have video and audio evidence. And we know that from these federal raids, remember way back when on both of his homes, they obtained, I heard from sources, hundreds, if not thousands of hours of footage.
A trial filled with salacious footage, and now rumors of Hollywood's biggest stars taking the stand. Are we expecting maybe to hear some celebrity names?
Yes, I'm going to give you a
Thanks for watching. Remember to show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing. It's a blessing. Keep your teacups filled and ready for my next upload. Until then, stay inspired and remember, always stay dipping.